Hello everybody, so I'm here today to give you your weekly book recommendation that I think I've skipped for 2 weeks. But you get the point! Yay, books! Today I'm going to recommend a book that I just finished reading, so I'll tell you a little bit more about it than I usually do. And that book is Illusions of Fate by Kiersten White. Kiersten White? I'm seriously always picking authors whose names I can't pronounce in some way or another. So first, let's talk about how this cover art is pretty, because this cover art is really pretty. But I actually chose to read this particular book because I have been following her on Twitter for a while, and she's pretty good friends with Stephanie Perkins, who I adore just as a person. I've met her for a few years or so now at LeakyCon, and so I wanted to read something by Kiersten White because she seems super nice. And I have to tell you that not only is she super nice, but she's pretty freaking talented. So Illusions of Fate is about a girl named Jessamine who moves from her home island of Millet, another word I can't pronounce, to the kind of dreary country of Albion. It's very gray, very kind of meh for most of the year. And in that sense, it kind of reminds me of trying to spend winter in Chicago, or even, I guess, probably like a very Britishy kind of thing. But it's not Britain, okay? This is Albion. It has an entirely different set of mores and cultural values. And there's a very strict difference between the nobility and the kind of lower class people who serve them. And it's in this world that she's kind of thrown into. She's going to school there, so she's kind of somewhere in the middle, but she's really on the lower part of the spectrum because of the island she came from and the color of her skin. And the way that the novel plays with that and deals with that is really interesting. This book actually deals a lot with the idea of accepting your fate, thus the title, Illusions of Fate. And it's really interesting the way that these characters deal with this fate that's been kind of prescribed for them and deciding whether they want to accept it or change it or alter it in some way, or how they want to go about dealing with the information that they have about what their fate is supposed to contain. Other than Jessamine, the other main character is Finn. And Finn is a very fascinating fellow. You don't know a lot about him, which kind of amps up the mystery, but you know enough to be intrigued. And the more you learn, the weirder the book gets. It's handled very well, it's very well plotted, everything makes a lot of sense, and it wraps up without feeling like you've tied it in some sort of bow. If you've read it and you want to talk about the ending with me, please do! I guess the comments are the best place for that. We'll put like a little spoiler thing in front of it so that people don't read them too much, I guess. I don't know. I haven't thought this all the way through, but I really want to talk about the ending with somebody, so read it. And that's all that I have for you today, as strangely long-winded as that was. Let me know what you're reading this weekend and what books you think we should be reading next, because we always like books. I say the word books a lot in these videos. For now, I'm going to drink my tea and continue reading some of the nonfiction books that I'm reading right now. And if you don't know what those books are, I'll put a link to my last video in the description, even though it was yesterday, so you probably should be able to find it. I'll see you next week. Bye!